Cooking with Wild, except for not cooking. What are we doing today instead?
We're worm farming!
We are worm farming.
So,
and why is it important to worm farm?
So when it starts spring, we don't have to do the worm farm there. We could just bring the worm farm over there.
Yeah, it's just the beginnings of a worm farm. And why are worm farms good for the earth?
Because the worms help the environment.
Yeah, they compost things. They break down our waste down into great compost and things to make our gardens grow better. And if our gardens grow better, what can we do better?
We could do a
Yummier
better
cooking.
Hey!
Yeah, with Cooking with Wild. That's why worm farms are in Cooking with Wild, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
So these are the worms.
Where did we get those worms from?
Outside today,
Come back, whoa. You come over here.
I think I might.
You come over here.
See?
It's okay.
It's pouring
It is.
outside.
They would like to see you talk about it. It is pouring outside. What do you got? You got so many worms?
Look how many worms we got. This is like 5 minutes of worms.
Oh, wow. Are those so many worms, you two, in the rain?
Yeah.
You're so lucky that you have...
I found like one worm that was like invisible. It was on. There was two of them.
Yeah.
I found one on the driveway and one on the sidewalk. No, actually, one on the road.
All right, well, let's keep...
to be like mucus that's building up on them.
That's exciting.
I tried to put one on my umbrella.
It's kind of weird.
I think.
Well,
But some of them are so big.
Collecting worms, and then we're gonna make worm tea and worm compost and worm castings, right?
Yeah.
For our garden. Where is our garden gonna be?
Guys, I found this baby worm. I think that belonged to the worm that I found on the driveway. It's a little one.
Okay, it is raining so hard, and we know that these worms that are out there are not necessarily the best worms for worm farming. We're aware that the red wigglers are a better composting.
Hey, but why is there rice right here?
Worm. We're gonna tell them in a second why there's rice right here. All right, so we know that there are other worms that are better composters. We get it. I know. You don't have to tell me. It's fine. But we're using the worms we have. So we went outside because it's raining and we saved the worms from the puddles. And then we put some dirt that they were already from our garden, so they're already acclimated to it, into here. Some nice, rich.
Can I show them
good
how it
dirt.
rated?
No, you don't need to show them how it's raining, but there's a bunch of worms in there. How many worms do you think are in there, Wild?
Probably like 20 or 5.
20 or 5? I think there's probably 30 to 50 worms in here. And
I gotta show you the
some
biggest
dirt.
one.
Oh, you want to show the biggest one?
I think it's under here. It's
This big one's really big.
No, there's a bigger one than that.
Oh, is there?
There's a bigger
All right,
one.
well, there's a lot of worms in there. So what we have is we have 3
We're not showing
containers.
them the best one.
That's okay, but why do we have 3 containers?
Because we have 3 containers, so one has
Hey,
drills
look
at the bottom.
Come over here and sit down. You're just very excited about this.
One has drills at the bottom.
One has drill holes at the bottom, and actually, if you don't have a drill, that's okay. I used a Phillips screwdriver, so a star screwdriver. And I just poked little holes in the bottom, and these are just yogurt containers that we use. So the reason why we have holes in the bottom is so we can make worm tea or compost tea or whatever you want to call it. So I've poked the holes in the
Oh, I
bottom
found
of
the
this
big
one.
one. Can I show them?
Okay, grab the big one.
I found this one. There was a bigger one than this, but there's also a bigger one than this.
Yeah. All right, so in this one, we have the holes, and this one we have the dirt and the worms, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put those in. Oh, there's a lot of worms.
Can I see?
Yeah, look at all those worms.
Oh yeah, the worms like to stay up in the pile.
They like to stay in a pile, yeah.
So we're gonna have to pull the worms apart. Here.
No, you don't actually have to pull them apart. They like to be in a pile like that. So we're going to pop one thing of this worms and bedding stuff. Oof. There's probably more than 50 worms in there, maybe. Yeah. So we've got all of our worms in here with the holes now.
Probably like a 30, probably like 95 or something.
Yeah. Oof, this one's a real big one right here.
Oh, that was the one I was.
Ooh, look at that guy.
I found another one.
Exciting. Let's leave them in there to be good.
Oh, that was the one that I was talking about.
Yeah, that's a huge one. So
I got that one.
we're gonna leave them in there. And then we have all this bedding that's going to go on top. And the bedding...
Yeah, that was from our tree outside. Not the front door tree.
They can't see your face when you're that close. Come back over here.
Not the front door tree. It's the back tree.
Yeah, so we've got the bedding is actually just, it's some mulch and some leaves and some grass clipping.
Some of the berries from there too.
Some of the berries, and then we put that on top, and that
But these berries aren't for human eating; they're for animals eating.
For animal eating. And why do we put this bedding on top? Do you know?
Because it helps more composty.
Yeah, it's some composty stuff. It also is.
I'm gonna go and tell her.
Whoa, come here. Come here. It's okay, Wiley, you're fine. The other reason why it's good to put this bedding stuff on top is it's nice and loose and it's light, so if the worms need to come out for air or they need a little space, they can come up to the top, and then they can feed up there and eat their compost and break down their stuff, and then go back down
get some scraps
and then go back down to sleep in the dirt. And then what we have here for them is, what is this, Lyle? Rice. So this rice is already, it's old rice from a couple days ago that we left in the rice cooker. It started to ferment and go bad. And I'm just gonna dig a little trough here in the worms.
Oh, I found a worm.
Yeah, there's worms there. And I'm gonna drop all the rice in. And
Can I touch it?
Sure, if you want to.
I feel like I'm on.
Drop
Maybe
that rice in.
and I'm trying to like separate the rice so it's easier for the worms to eat, so the worms don't bite over.
Yeah, and then what you want to do is you actually want to put this bedding over on top again.
Well, it's starting to smell bad.
Because when the bedding, don't rub it all over your pants.
Those are their jeans.
Well, they're still pants. Jeans are also pants. Come here. You don't.
It smells bad.
Yeah, that's why we'll wash our hands afterwards.
Oh, can I go wash my hands right now?
Well, we're just doing this video still. So what I've done is I've put all of this rice in there, and
unless we're cooking with wild.
Cooking with wild, and then I put the bedding on top of the rice, and you'll see that actually because what happens then is that the bedding, it like makes sure that it doesn't get all moldy and stuff. It keeps it underneath. It keeps it a little bit moist, and it keeps it decomposing.
So if we didn't have this rice, we would have to add a bit of water like everything.
No, we would add some compost instead. Yeah, and then literally the worms are like kind of going nuts for it right now. So they're gonna start trying to eat that. They're gonna break it down. There are holes in.
Yeah, they're removing like 6 days.
Yeah, you want to sit down there? There are some holes in the bottom. There's holes in this container in the sides. I'm gonna put some holes in the lids, and then that way there's good airflow. And every day or two, we'll run some water through this, and the water that runs through will be that compost tea. It'll be the worm castings, and it'll be super good for our garden and our plants and all the good things, right?
Yeah!
Yeah, and every day we go to check in on our worms and see if they're eating their food. And as that rice disappears, we can go ahead and add more compost. Rice is a good starter because it's sugary and the worms like it, and it already is broken down and it had started to decompose already.
If you like, can I see the rest of the rice?
Well, the rest of the rice is in the rice cooker, but
oh, I found the big worm.
Leave him alone now. We're letting him.
I see the big worm.
I know, but the big worm really wants to find its home and settle in and calm down. Okay, so we're gonna let him be.
Look at that big worm.
And we're hoping they'll have lots of worm babies.
Yeah, because I've seen a worm baby this day, and I think we took its mom from it, and its dad.
Worm babies are eggs. Did you know that?
They are, but I also found out like a worm baby that was like 1 year old on the sidewalk.
Well, yeah, they start as eggs and then they become little worms.
Yeah.
Super cool, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the beginning of our worm farm, and we definitely would want it to be bigger, in like a big tub maybe, but this is just sort of to show you how it could get started on a small scale. So, what do you want to tell anybody about worm farms?
So you want to make sure that you have compost in there. I started by, we already had a worm farm.
You just did one on your own sometime, huh?
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
I found out that There was ants in it, and the ants killed the worms.
Well, yeah, and also you put water in there and without draining holes, and so the worms didn't have enough air to breathe. Bummer, huh? Bummer. All right, well, thank you for watching How to Start a Worm Farm with Wild.
Yeah.
Try and start one of your own and let us know how it goes. What do we need to do now?
We need
Wash our hands! And you need to give us a
like,
and a giant thumbs up.
subscribe to our channel.
Thanks for watching Beautiful Families Project with Dad and
Wild.
do 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 do.
Whoop.